All right, live. Good job. Done. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Steuben County Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, July 7th, 2025. And our first official required live stream day. It brought its own challenges.
Oh, it's fine. Okay,
It's fine now.
We gotta go.
So first item on our agenda today is opening bids for the reassessment contract. Want to read them all?
Go ahead. You have to accept that.
The first is from Nexus. $1,049,400. Next is from Vision. Vision. $1,072,600. This one is challenge here.
They wanted to make sure it was a sealed bid.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tyler Technologies. $991,920.
I think to take those under advisement and come back to you with the details.
Please do, that would be wonderful.
Okay. I'm also on the agenda this morning. Requesting our GIS contract that you guys hold with Snyder Beacon has a conference coming up in September. It is in Nashville. I talked with Garrett, and he says that this is kind of geared towards assessors and auditors. And we'll be learning more about how to do the land maps, parcel detail, kind of management and stuff. Since it's your free ticket, I thought I better ask you, and it is out of state, so I wanted to get your permission to send Jessica and use at least one of the tickets at this point.
Nashville, Tennessee, not Nashville, Indiana.
Tennessee, correct, out of state.
Yeah, move to approve.
Sorry.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
If I decide, or if we find that nobody else uses the second ticket, you want me to come before you again? Or just go ahead and assume I'm good to use two tickets? Sorry, I should have asked that before your motion, shouldn't I?
No, I wouldn't have any issue with their sending folks.
I'll update you if I. Okay,
I
thank you.
say with the auditor's office, I would not think with the Harrison sending anybody.
I'm gonna check with the tech side. Check with Tony. He's the one who does the drawing.
Morning, Alicia.
Morning. I just have one invoice on the budget today. This is part of the collaborative effort on intensive water monitoring with the local partners that we have on a community foundation grant. We're going on year 2 or 3. So this is our in-kind contribution. It is one invoice that we have currently before us today, and then a future one that most likely will come out in about a month and a half. Because they are a little slow getting out on us. I am getting it before you today, so this is for the first half of the year. The second one will be coming out. And it is for $2,500 total for the whole year. It's $1,250 $2 times a year.
So you budgeted both payments, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I wouldn't have an issue if we were to do both of them.
Yes.
So she doesn't have to bring it back to us.
Yeah, we did that last year. Yeah. I would move to approve both payments.
Second.
Further discussion with that. Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Are they doing the water test this morning?
Yes, we'll see how many samples they can actually get safely because of the water last night. But they've been going out pretty regularly.
Yeah. Being pulling in there by pigeon this morning.
Yes, yeah, they're early risers. They don't like wasting time.
That's good. Yeah.
We move on to some of our other business items. Payroll for June 27th, the amount of $586,801. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
The record show that we've already signed the plat for the, I'm gonna try to pronounce that, clear.
Cyber issues. I believe you have in your packets the cyber insurance short form reapplication or renewal. Your signature, it has to be signed by an officer of the organization. So in conjunction with our MSP and the auditor's office, I filled out all the information similar to what we did last year, double checking all the information. So it's just something that we have to submit every year. It'll be reviewed in August. If any questions or
Making a motion to approve.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
that's all. Thank you.
Kevin, we can take you early if you'd like, so you can get back to work.
Right along this morning. Good morning.
Morning.
So I'm from Bridge. I've been interviewed before. Kevin Summers, President Navigate Claims, Navigate Services. I think all of you have the revised proposal in conjunction with GICI that we worked together on this re-proposal for the Crooked Lake gas fuel restaurant food type project. So we can start there. If you want to start with questions, if you've had a chance to review that, got to go from there since we've all been in this thing before.
we've seen a number of proposals on this, just, I wouldn't say number 2 or 3, maybe.
A couple of them, yeah, this is a scaled down version from the greater, bigger picture that we presented last time. This is just for the single lot for the fuel and food type of service on that Perkin Lake. Kind of alleviate some of the environmental issues that we're seeing with this, the lack of fuel, et cetera. It's a much scaled down version from the previous proposal that we put out.
I guess my one question is, why do you think it belongs on our county park?
That's right now, that's the only place that we found that we could put it. And we've looked at some private lots and property. There's just nothing available that we could put any kind of fuel service. And if we did, it'd be right next door to residential property on both sides. And I would not ethically do that with Perkin Lake residents or homeowners, but it's about fuel tank right next door. And where the proposed site that we have for this project, which we're same site that we had proposed before, it is out of the way, away from some other patrons, whether it's the beach or the public access. So it is tucked away a little bit, out of the way. And with what we've had with fuel containment, et cetera, for spill off, it wouldn't pose any hazards with like beachgoers and other patrons. Like, it's not in a heavy trafficked area. Good question though.
Still a stick-built building you're looking at, or is this a pre-framed?
By stick built. GIC, I have worked for the past probably 14 months, working on some development with what the structure would look like. We scaled it down dramatically from the original plan of a full season, a 4-season type of building, to scale it back to a seasonal only. It just makes more sense.
And you're asking what I see as a 10-year lease with a 10-year renewal option on it and buyout. Don, ours leasing property like that, would that have to go through council for something?
Yeah, there has to be, it's the same, the procedure is the same as the sale of real estate. You have to advertise, you have to take quotes, and people can submit plans. Yeah, I surprised me if they'd submit anything, anybody else would submit anything, but you have to give them the opportunity.
I think we went down that road before, and I think I believe that in all the research we did, I don't believe that was the case. I don't believe that was the case with DNR, was it? On the 76 park.
With the DNR, totally different animal, but
Private entity.
yeah, I researched this some time ago. A lease, at least a long-term lease has to be, and when you record, it has to be advertised just like any other, a sale of real estate. So
We'll have to look at that. I think the attorney that we researched it as well, and I believe found that wasn't the case, but we can do a deep dive into it to make sure.
To do that, we'd probably have to have a survey done, so we'd have to get some bounds type of
you have to have a survey for the lease, yes, description.
description, so we would know, would it be possible to advertise for the potential lease without first having that done?
Sure. Yeah, you could, the statute provides for the description. You don't have to have a meets and bounds description to advertise for the lease.
You could give a general description of the area.
Correct.
Are budgeting for next year for a long-term strategic plan for that general area, or this could be accepted out of it.
Super attorney, another question.
That's fine.
Legal attorney.
I'm giving them time to
No, I
to let it sink in and have some thought to it.
I've been over the, I'm glad to see it that your, the business plan's been reduced a little bit to make it more in line with the needs of that area.
The parties involved would happily be involved with the bigger picture scope, right, as you talked about for next year. And I know that there's a lot of government funding that can be available when you're developing workforce, that areas controlled by the Parks Department. There's a lot of government funding that can be involved for the big picture.
We have a park board, so you could qualify for the government funding.
Not yet.
The, Don, if we were to put this out for such a proposal, it wouldn't necessarily be a bid, but it'd be a RFP, so to speak. It would be up to this board then to determine which proposal they preferred out of the three, correct? And then it would be council's final approval.
You
Or out of the two.
can accept or reject anything that's submitted.
And then final approval sits with council then, correct?
I believe so. The council would have to approve. I'll check that. I'm not sure about that, but I believe the council would have to approve.
Yes, my thoughts, if we're gonna open this actually up to do this type of project, I think we would need to open it up for bids for
That's what
any
I'm saying.
such thing. Yeah, I mean, not just this specific one. Even though I disagree with where it's going, but I understand there's not many places around the lake. I just don't like that.
We've been open to other locations. And when I think there's been suggestions from former commissioners, that was what settled on in the very last discussions. But there's another location suggestion, we'd be all open for it. We just haven't found one that's private that we could purchase property that's not next to residential.
This would be probably setting a precedent to doing it in the future, I would think. Would that be an accurate statement?
We looked at that on the association board, as far as setting the precedents. We have an attorney on our board about different environmental issues and stuff that we've combated as well. And, he's determined there's really no set precedent for any type of project. I mean, I asked him about this project as well.
I wouldn't be concerned about precedent either.
One-off type of situation.
Yeah, local government can change without any concern about precedents. As a legal matter, as a political matter, that's different issues.
So this wouldn't be any different than if we went up to Clear Lake and put one next to that beach.
Would it be different? You would have
Maybe not a fair question.
would it be any different? Yeah, it would be different, but the process would be similar.
Processes.
You got, I assume, the other thing is that you still have to meet zoning requirements, go through that process.
That area definitely have to be rezoned. I believe part of it is in a flood zone portion of it. So there'd have to be some development involved in order to get it up to code.
So what's being asked of you, he has an idea that he's presenting to us, but what really is being asked if the Board of Commissioners were to consider putting out 4 proposals, a portion of County Park on Cricket. That would be the first step. And then his proposal would be one of potentially several that we might get, and we might not get others.
If you get RFP guidelines, obviously we can revise this proposal.
I guess I really don't have a problem taking that next step to see.
You can accept or reject all.
Right, that's really making that decision other than to allowing for proposals for this properties. Motion?
Since I'm not trying to rush anybody.
It's like motion, I'll make a motion to approve the, for putting out for proposals for the specific, we don't have the survey yet, right? So
There's a description in our, it's not that.
for the allotted lot in the county park. Like,
Basically, this proposal is just for that identified location on the county park.
That's how I interpret his motion, yes. And it would be that general location now. Could it be, if you want to get a meets and bounds from that little inlet to the curvature of the lake to the road behind it, yeah, something along that line.
Usually we have in there, they're allowed to submit alternate proposals. So you may get something,
Maybe it's something a little different than that.
different strengths.
Mr. Scheck, did you have a vision of another area that would be better suited? We can duplicate the model, we can definitely do that.
It might be a long way down that hill. On a gas stop.
No, it's it's one of a kind property, undisturbed by most aspects that we are starting to alter. That there's no other chunk of property like that on the lake, and I'd like to see it.
I thought about that too. If you go on a summer weekend and see the traffic and then how that particular lot is being used, and probably think otherwise. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. Now, I know that along the rest of that shoreline going across where the 4-H fairgrounds is now, I believe that's protected wetlands. There's a very small window where you can put an actual dock for fuel, et cetera. If you want to abide by that, and that's the last thing I want to do. I work in environmental remediation services in my career, and that's the last thing I want to do is disturb something that's protected.
Scott, can I ask you, if there were a dock in that particular location, have you seen the location?
Yes,
Okay, would that affect any of the docks you're putting in?
because we're gonna be on the other side of the channel, so that inlet.
I've had numerous conversations with Scott too, to try not to disrupt anybody that's currently there, or make sure we're going to displace, and on his plan of moving and putting some other dock grouping there. And we took that consideration too. And we didn't want to displace anybody.
Any further questions by this board?
Is there any reason why it can't go over by the GNR courthouse?
We did look at that originally. We'd have to go through the chain of those events in order to sublease it, I believe, from the Attorney General for the state of Indiana. We looked at that, which we'd be open. Our thought was the traffic with the like weekenders, fishing tournaments, we would impede on traffic coming in there and take up too much real estate that's already being utilized by the general public. There's a lot of people that go there by foot, they'll wait out to the shallow areas, a lot of boats that sit out there. So we looked at that area. We looked by the old boat ramp as well. We didn't want to build a structure that was going to impede on the visibility from the campground to the lake. Now we could probably work out something that would fit in there and not impede on any visibility. Which I think that was one of the first proposals, I believe, that we put out there, was for that near that old boat ramp.
All those in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same.
Aye.
Don number.
260-446-5675.
And Abby, could you give me the packet?
I would ask Don to prepare a request for proposal that we can advertise, that we can review it to see if it's what we're considering. And that we can get it advertised and put a date certain on it.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Andy, good morning.
Morning, how are you guys?
Good.
Come in front of you today with two additional quotes, or two additional things that my agenda. The first one is approval to send 3 providers to the BMS World Conference in Indianapolis. The last about 8 years, it's been down in Louisiana at New Orleans. This year, they're bringing it up to Indianapolis, a lot closer. This conference offers 150 classes over 3 days for providers and EMS to get education from. So I'm looking to send 3 people to that. There is a group rate. If we do 3 or more, it brings conference down to $505. So that would be totaling $1,515. And then also, it would also cost additional $503 for 2 hotel rooms for the employees. We have enough money in the budget, so I'm just coming in front of you guys today for approval to use the Commissioner's credit card to get these rooms and registration booked.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor, signify with aye.
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 Second one on the agenda is acquiring the old EMA office and turning it into a second crew quarter and fitness center for our central duty crews. Currently, as you guys know, we have 2 full-time trucks at our central station, and it's kind of tight. Having that second office will give us a little bit more room for the crews to kind of manage themselves and not be at each other's door all the time. And then also to put a treadmill and some other things coming in there for the crews to use while on duty to kind of promote a little bit healthier lifestyles.
Is this, sorry,
There's a second.
I'll second for discussion.
Thank you. Now we've got.
Oh, sorry.
Now you're okay.
So with the new administrator, they'll have, that individual will have his own individual office?
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Yeah, so I still have my own office up front,
Yeah.
2100. There's no desk in there currently being used by the shift supervisors.
Mhm.
The administrator would have that old EMS director office, and that would be the third office down the end of the hallway.
Or be with us equipment?
Where the ones, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to utilize the space now, then you can direct everybody have a different direction. Some of the thought was previously is to maybe take out the office where you've been
Yeah,
and make that one larger room, but
looking at cost effectiveness and all that, I think that's probably saving money. That's probably the best way to do it currently.
just in the long term,
In long term, yeah, from looks.
rearranging everything down there to more suit the needs of the EMS, but I think from the temporary standpoint.
Okay.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Third, item on the agenda, this past weekend, we had one of our cots, our power cots go down. Talking with Stryker, it's actually gonna need a replacement of the full hydraulic subassembly. So the whole hydraulic unit of the cot. I got a quote for that, just over $6,700, for repair for that. So just get approval to go ahead and go forward with that repair.
67 or 76?
Oh, sorry, 76.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Move to approve.
I'll say. Just here. He said 67, I'm looking at 76.
Sorry about that.
What numbers are you looking at?
As part of that discussion, we probably should look at the potential for that contract.
Contract, yeah. Getting all new equipment and all that, so that's kind of like, as I've told you guys in the past, all that's out of date now. Past expiration life, and then also service contracts are all out, so with the new contract and new equipment, that'll all be covered within that.
We can do that sooner than later.
Right.
Then my last thing on the agenda is a community public outreach program I want to do. September 6th, I want to hold a public safety day at the EMS quarters. So we would do free stop and bleed classes, free CPR, then also child seat, bicycle safety courses. I would like to use the upstairs, training, what we call the training room, meeting room upstairs, to hold those public events along within our bay, as well as hold some of the bicycle stuff downstairs in the bay area.
Coordinate that with the sheriff and EMA.
Yeah,
The health department.
yeah, health department, all that kind of just bring a kind of a fair, just centralized bring it in here. I've even reached out to Cameron, try to partner with them for some stuff. Just trying to bring more stuff in-house. Any motion?
Sure.
Sorry.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Morning, Austin.
Hey, good morning. Hope you all had a good 4th of July. Coming to you today to request approval for a Blankville EMS notification. In the packet, you'll see the cost for the pole, there's some concrete, rebar, and a light. Totals $811.88.
This is for the North Station, right?
Correct.
Yep.
There are cheaper poles, quality stock will be there though.
Right, yeah, no.
Fix
That's
this.
all pretty good. Yeah.
We'll put in, we'll install it.
Is it the Southie one?
I believe it's
Couldn't tell by the
sections, 4-piece.
So it's gonna have a
It's made in the US.
rope and stuff, then the hoist line.
Yeah, a rope connection.
Yeah, that's
Hoist,
what
yeah. Yeah, I think it's easy to have a flag in that North Station, so I will move to approve. Take out building the maintenance.
Further discussion?
Yes, it's the commissioner's building maintenance.
Yeah.
It's the only type you looked at, you look at the telescopic one.
I looked at several on Amazon,
Yeah.
and this is the one I could find that was the most quality within reason as price. Most of them on Amazon were quite a bit cheaper. You get what you pay for. It's 11 gauge steel, which is a little bit thinner than an 1/8 inch. I just don't think they're gonna hold up very well.
And which light was you looking at?
It looked like there's one that was on there that went on the top, and there's one that straps on the pole. Yeah, so the light and attached to the pole, it's solar panel. The bottom one, yeah. Lines up there.
None, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And treasurer, right?
I brought before you a confidentiality agreement between the Indiana Department of Revenue and Steuben County. It will allow us to have more pertinent information regarding innkeepers and fill in some holes and gaps that we've been having in our reporting. The agreement will allow me to add or delete people as necessary through the term.
Questions? The treasurer. Motion to. Sorry. Further discussion?
Was
Hearing
Rick
none?
first?
Excuse me?
Was Rick first?
Rick was first. All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Morning. Again.
Good morning. Okay, a couple things on today's agenda. The first one, I would like to post a notice in my common area and also on the internet for employees regarding the 1095Cs that are sent out every single year. There was a paperwork burden reduction act that was put in place. So every year PHP would compile this file for us and then they would send it to me electronically. And they would also then send all of these 1095s out to employees so they can put them in their tax returns, just showing that they had insurance for X amount of months throughout the year. That is no longer required to send them out. If they wanted to request them, that would be something that they would most certainly be able to do. And I would then have electronic copies of those. They could come to my office and get a copy. So I would just like to notify employees that they will no longer just be receiving them. If they would like a copy, they can request it.
Questions? Motion. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye. Aye.
Yep. And the exciting thing, I am happy, yes, I'm happy to report that Steuben County was one of 9 counties that was selected to participate in the misdemeanor pilot program with the state. The CCAA has not gotten me the actual agreement yet. Hopefully that is forthcoming very soon. I will get that in front of you once I do receive that. The initial duration of this is for 18 months. They were hoping for 4 years, but because of funding, they had to scale it back a little bit. The hopes are if we remain in compliance with everything on the program, then we would roll into the 4-year program as well. So a lot of things could be changing. I will be reporting to County Council tomorrow, along with some members of the Public Defender Board, to see how they would like us to move forward.
I'd like to congratulate you on all your hard work that you put into that.
Thank you.
Yes. Representative Isa had his hands in that, and Representative Smoltz did, and Judge Fee, but you were the backbone of most of that.
Thank you.
She kept us compliant and with all the necessary paperwork to make it
continue to do so. That has to continue as well, the data collection, so.
Thank you.
we can do that, as long as the county wants me to be on board with that.
So the office gets established, that I go to somebody else and might actually have some time.
Yeah, potentially.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep, thank you.
Morning, Chip.
Morning. First thing I have for you is NDOT LPA voucher. Claim number 18 for preliminary engineering for bridge number 37 on County Road 675 West over Crooked Creek in the amount of $5,446.87 to Lockmiller Group. Just need your approval and signature.
The roof. Second. Any discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Thank you. For capital project updates, we're still waiting on the court for notice of our 3 appraisals for 100 North, 200 West Roundabout.
July 15th, 11 a.m., the court's instructing the appraisers.
Tuesday.
July what?
15th. Bridge 37, reviewing stage 2 plans. We had a preliminary field check that went really well. So we know what utilities need to move. We want to finalize construction limits so we can start moving forward with right away appraising on that project. Pokebachi South Phase 1, Stage 1 plans have been reviewed. They're available to see in my office. Good. Small structure number 7. We've been working on that. Originally, they had Tuesday, July 8th for opening date. They're not going to make that. They're at least a week behind schedule because of weather. But they're getting closer. Community Crossings 2025-1. Brooks was looking to begin originally on Monday, July 7th. That's been pushed out again. These delays. So we're probably 3 weeks out on that starting. The House Bill 1461 road funding update. We have a preliminary meeting set with the township trustees that could meet this Friday at 9 a.m. Meet the 4H meeting room. And it's basically just so we can get all our questions from each group on the line so we can go back and try to get all the answers.
And you're downstairs.
We contracted crack seal this year on 50 West and 800 South. All that works has been completed. We had some contractor double micro surface, cocaine meadow subdivision. All that work's been completed. We have some work that we're going to do on 800 West and 850 West to prep those for when the state reopens those roads for the detour on Toll Road push project. We're out there doing grading right now, so we should be ready for when the state reopens the roads. Our 2025 road paving program, we started it on Tuesday, July 1st. We had some rain issues. We had some equipment issues. Today is officially day 2. We're out paving on 150 West today. Our TIG welder that you guys allowed us to buy, it's in. It's greatly appreciated. It's already been used. It's nice to have the proper tool for the job. We had come to you guys before and asked permission to work with HR about looking at some job descriptions. One of them was the shop supervisor position. I attached a draft job description for that position. Would like to propose a matching for what we currently pay foremen of $27.68 an hour. I'd like to request your permission to move forward to seek a change in salary ordinance to create that position out of. So I have 2 mechanic positions, but breaking one of them out, making one of them the shop supervisor position and the other mechanic. I'd like to request your permission to go to council with that request for 2020, the remainder of the 2025 budget and the 26 budget.
Yeah, Aaron.
Would you like the job description to go through the complete process though? Because at that time, we have not gone through the Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy process and the personnel committee that we normally do. I know that the highway department is on a different pay scale, but it would probably be in our best interest to see where the factor points fall, and then try to then make it jive with what their pay scale is, according to all of that.
I would like to do all that stuff, Aaron, just so.
And then once through the proper approvals, then we would do the salary ordinance if needed.
If you'd allow me to summarize this. So they're going to ask for a change in the position of a mechanic to shop supervisor and have Aaron submit for a updated job description and to have the analysis done on that position with Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy to determine its position in the WIS study. That sound correct?
Make a motion on that?
Yes.
Or was that your motion?
No, I'm not making a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Summarizing.
Yes, I will make a motion.
Could you restate that?
That's good.
I do have a question.
Yep.
Yes, as it wasn't that many years ago, I believe you used to have a shop supervisor, like a mechanic.
I believe you had one right before
you?
right before I got here. I think that position was.
So that didn't seem to work out very well, so I'm not sure it's gonna work out better.
If it doesn't, I'll make the necessary corrections.
Any further? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'll work with Aaron on the next steps. Part-time seasonal. Work with HR on that issue. Thank you for everybody. We look forward to hiring part-time seasonal. We already had some people reach out to us and talk to us about those positions, so that's a good move forward on how we're handling part-time. I attached a draft door hanger. This is just basically one of our vendors uses a door hanger very similar to this, different words, but it's very effective, and that way we can help notify property owners when we're doing work in the area. Just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of what we're doing with that. I had the funds to print, we quoted it out to get some, so. Then for my next request, I had 2 traffic ordinances. I believe Mr. Stubbs and never officially reviewed them before you guys can approve them, but what they are for is the first one for a speed limit change on County Road 450 West. 450 West changes from, as you travel north, changes from what we call a rural collector to a more residential area as you get north of County State Road 120. There's also an obstruction that going under the bridge, there should have been a reduced speed limit for going under the toll road bridge there anyway. So you just want to clarify that, clean that up. Would like to move speed limit north of 120 to 30. And then when they get north of the toll road bridge to where it becomes more lake residential, turn it to a 20 mile an hour. That would make it more consistent with the geometry and the land use of the road.
No.
That I need your approval essentially to.
Yeah.
The second one is for County Road 400 North. This is going west from State Road 127. Going west from State Road 127, the county road portion ends into two private lanes, privately maintained lanes, and there's no turnaround point. We have it posted, no semi through truck going east from 127 to 827. But for some reason, we're getting truck traffic and it's not, this doesn't affect trash or school buses. We're getting box trucks, semi-tractor trailers going down this road for no apparent reason. I don't know, GPS is giving them wrong directions and they're going down there, but there is no safe turnaround spot for these trucks. It's hard enough to turn around a 1-ton plow truck down there. They don't need to have these equipment down there. So I'm requesting permission to post that as no semi-truck traffic. So hopefully they get it updated on there. GPS and stuff trying to get down there.
They're not delivery vehicles. They're just people turning the wrong way.
And having to come back out.
It's not actually a dead end.
No. No, but it's all private and it's all narrow and there's no reason for truck traffic to be going down that road. But they are getting.
It's construction. There's no business down there.
There's no businesses, but I had a request. I went out there and the 5 minutes I was out there, I had 2 semis go down the road. Spend 15 minutes trying to turn around and then come back. It's happening. I just don't know why. Assuming the GPS is taking it the wrong way.
And Don review them and then get ordinance numbers for them. And we'll take them up.
I'm a little behind this year, so typically I would have brought you my draft equipment replacement plan before I turned my budget in. But I have a draft equipment replacement plan for your comment. A couple of things that we were looking at doing a little different. I got a couple of items that could be a little bit more expensive to build and wanted to know if the Board of Commissioners would support what's called a municipal lease. You own the equipment at the end of the purchase, but you're just giving yourself the opportunity to pay for it over a period of years instead of having it 100% upfront cost. There's benefits to it. You can get into more pieces of equipment quicker. There's also the negative of it. You have to pay for the financing. You have to pay for financing. A couple of things we do have coming out that are going to be bigger ticket items. We do have a payload, which I'm budgeting for or going to ask and have listed in the next year's plan. We do have the Gradle that's getting close to needing to be replaced, and we have a grader. All those items could easily run $300,000 a piece, and doing them one at a time means that you're not doing much of anything else. So spraying it out lets you pick up smaller items in there. So right now for 2026, you guys support this plan, I have it listed as paying for the build out of that tandem truck that we went ahead and purchased this year. Paying for a pickup truck. Paying for the skid loader lease, which turns the skid loader every year. Proposing to build a lean-to on the back of the west side of the garage. A 4-yard payloader, a clamshell bucket or form 1 bucket so we could respond in emergencies with the payloader and not the grader. And
a different mowing tractor. Then in 2027, we would be back with, our plan would be to get it down to one single axle dump truck to have as a spare truck for tree removal and some other items that we use. Replace that last single axle dump truck, again, skid loader lease, and then the payment plan on the other two items.
Is that boom mower that you were looking at?
Yes, we have requested a demo. I got a pricing package for both purchasing and municipal leasing. So, recycling. Same with 4-yard payload.
At least a head nod if we're interested in allowing him to use a lease purchase program. We've done that.
We already do it with the skid loader, right? Yeah.
Oh, the skid loader we bought up front,
Okay, that's, yeah.
so we paid 100% up front, right? That let us walk into a much smaller, so for $2,500, we can
Exchange it.
Yeah, at the end of the year for a new one.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But we're doing some of that with EMS equipment.
Mhm. Yeah, I've used it in the past myself, and now purchasing equipment, so.
Not opposed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep our equipment upgraded.
Okay. And
Not easy to budget.
I'm only looking at it from the stuff that when we start getting into, it's over $300,000. We're talking about you buy one and then you can't get anything else there.
I don't understand how it allows you to get multiple pieces of equipment as opposed to just one.
And so I have a pickup truck planned to be replaced in 2026. That would probably be the superintendent's truck. Is that good with you guys, or you guys want to move that?
We were looking at moving that sooner, weren't we?
Yeah. I'm surprised you, that's a, submit a bid, right?
I have 2 submitted quotes I sent in. The best, we went and we looked at the trucks. And there was a truck, so in your package, I have a price from Shepherd's, and they have a lower price unit on there, but it doesn't have the suspension, which I'm glad we went and looked at. It doesn't have the suspension package needed for the front wheel. So this unit actually does. So that's the least expensive truck that we received quotes from. We received 3 quotes from Shepherd's and 3 from that truck that we could put from.
Qualify for the government program, if they haven't gone to. Tom Kelly.
I mean,
Kelly ones.
you check with, the Fort Wayne? No. Okay. Just for the, see if they had any.
So we should check with Kelly Fleet Services to see if they might have one, but I think our thoughts and the discussions we've had, Scott, were to try and get that done this year.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yep.
Okay, I'll get it moved. I'll check with Kelly Fleet Services and we'll get quotes from them and make sure that we're on the right path with that. Then I need your permission to send some units to auction. I have a Unit 6, which is a payloader, bolt out service. Unit 20, it's a single axle dump truck that you just pulled out of service. Unit 66, single axle dump truck. Unit 99 is a single axle dump truck. Unit 407, which is the
old fire truck that we have sitting out back. And unit 104-1, which is our old mini excavator. I'd like to officially request sending them to auction.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Then we have been working on looking into software packages, programs that would help us better manage our asset inventory, which is our roads, our bridges, our culverts, small structures, guardrail, signs, equipment, and better interact with public and complaint tracking and work order tracking. We currently use a program called iWorks for a portion of that for our fleet management program. I sent you guys a PowerPoint. I think the program would do everything we ask it to do if we bought out all these modules. The pricing is based on year-round population. So that's favorable to us. There's unlimited users, so I can make all of my guys users in the shop so they can report issues and take care of things from their phone or a tablet as well. It's very interesting, but I know I need your guys' approval to talk to IT and then talk to our GIS to make sure everything will interact properly before I move forward. So I'm here requesting your permission to talk to IT department about this program in particular. See if that would meet our needs and actually work with our system.
Question is, Sheriff's Department utilizing anything like this, and then our GIS or our assessor is actually doing 360-degree viewing. Do we have that already available to us?
But I'm not interested in 360-degree viewing. It's just part of their PowerPoint presentation.
That's not one of the modules that you'd be interested in.
Have you double checked with the other program that the health department, the building department's using?
So the program, the health department, and building departments viewing, I've spent about a year going back and forth with them, trying to get them to tell me that they can do this and they can't do this.
That's
They
good.
could do permitting. And yeah, we're already supposed to be in the works of getting our permitting up through that. They can't do the rest.
Against like modules for the building.
This looks like more of asset management. Any tool you can do to make the job easier and more efficient out there is a good thing.
And I want to make this where we are working on a standard operating procedures manual / policy manual for the county highway department. We have drafted and internally worked on vegetation control, standard operating procedure / policy, and an on-call policy. The vegetation control consists of how we mow, trim trees, brush, spray weed control. It's pretty straightforward. Just looking for direction on if you guys are happy with that draft policy or if you guys want us to do more work. And same thing with the on-call procedure. We would need your approval if we do get a if you change on-call procedure, because one of the things I would like to see as part of the change in the on-call procedures, we currently pay guys 4 hours, what some people would call standby. They get 4 hours of straight pay for every week they're on call. I'd like to see that change to 8. That's the really only monetary difference. But you guys would have to approve that, I can't. Everything else is basically what we do, otherwise clarifying it, codifying, so we can properly train our people. And then we can communicate to other departments that we deal with. This is how the department's gonna respond. That's,
So you have somebody on call every week?
every week.
They're on, sorry. They're basically on call from the time the shop is closed at 4 PM until the next morning every night and then over the weekend.
Yep.
Eight hours is unreasonable.
It's not for also weeknights.
They have, whomever that person is has to be available for 14 hours for a 7-day period.
It's just one person.
One person.
See, 24 hours on the weekend.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't see that as being unreasonable.
Yeah. Is that, you know, if that's more what the industry standard is 8 hours, or is that?
There's places, if you wanted to find them there, they pay 4 hours like we do, and there's others that pay 6, others that pay 8. They have different setups. Some of them don't run in the winter, but we don't have a night shift, so we still need them in the winter. Some of them have 2 people that are on call instead of 1, so it's not as big of a burden, I would say. You're not covering the whole county. Some of them have to split north, south, east, west, or areas, however it is.
How often do you think how long for on-call person gets actually called in for?
I would say 50% of the weeks they get called in, and once that skill's been topped on that, you get called in 3-4 times. It's either nothing or you get called in.
Multiple times.
Head nods or not.
That'd be on top of any pay they receive for actually showing.
I'd have to do a salary ordinance amendment also.
Okay.
Can we get a verbal on that?
Yes.
I'm sorry. A motion on that, my bad.
Motion.
I would like to
Just for
see
the,
this one go.
as far as the on-call portion of it.
I'll move to approve to go from 4 hours to 8.
Right now, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
I would say most of the rest of them then appear to be head nods to go.
That's all I needed. I just need to make sure I was going in the direction you guys wanted. We do have in general operation project updates. We do have some surface patching remaining because of our commitment with E&V. We're trying to get our main line paving done and out of the way. Typically, you want your asphalt, you're gonna chip seal to set for about 30 days before chip seal over it. So we need to do that. So if you have a list of roads, we are gonna come back and do some more surface patching. And then when we can, we can spare you guys, but still not mowing and rushing. Still moving that forward, but hopefully, I don't mind that it's cloudy and slightly misty. It's a whole lot better paving weather than last week, so they could stay like this for about 16 days.
Did that bridge out the asphalt cooled off or getting on the road?
Oh, no, yeah. It didn't cool off.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you might as well get chip with it all.
Yeah, hey, I'm good. I'm clear on that.
Morning, Commissioners. Morning. Auditor, Mr. Stuckey.
Morning, Sheriff.
Okay. Get these out here. Got several items. A lot of invoicing. The first two, which is Total Response 911 software, that's our software in the 911 center. Number two is they're both same accounts, same company, is the training renewal, what costs us to use the training side of that software for all of our dispatchers. So I'm looking for both the software and the training costs there. Feel free to vote.
Second. Any questions?
Aye. Thank you. 3 and 4, same situation, same company, same account. 911 annual support manager and the WTH yearly mapping contract. We are switching to the new Motorola mapping, but because they're 6 to 8 months out, and as far as get that software installed, we do have to keep with the WTH to make sure we have some mapping in place. Also in the 911 center.
again.
The WTH, it's basically our mapping software that's currently ran in the 911 centers.
That's items
5 and, or 4 and 4, 3 and 4, sorry.
3 is SAS for jail video license.
You guys are looking at the numbers, I was going through the invoices.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't, that must be, I'm sorry, how the auditor put them together, we sent them over. I can
So
go
it would
through.
be.
That was usually.
So let's get
It would be
number
4 and
3.
5.
So, you want to do yours? I'm fine with that. I'll just look up at yours. Yeah, number 3 is our jail video licensing. That's SAS, which is the company that manages our camera system, our repository for storage, all that good stuff. They sent an invoice with the courthouse included in that. Number 3 is just our line to be paid, which is ours out of the jail. I think you'll probably get the further invoice, Kelly, am I correct, with the courthouse? Unless you wanted me to pay it out of the jail, but I didn't think you wanted me to do that.
Honestly, I think I need to check it out for this.
Okay. Well, I can, I've got it right here, ma'am. So let's go, send it around. The first one is the jail. SAS just sent everybody's on the same invoice. So the first one's the jail, the next one's the courthouse. I'm assuming you'll take care of that in another way, unless you wanted to put all that on the major money we have set aside.
I don't know.
Or is there,
I gotta talk to Ian.
yeah,
Break it down with Ian some more.
okay. The courthouse has its own.
What's the third one?
I think that's the courthouse as well.
Card readers, yeah.
Yeah, courthouse system. SAS handles the card readers, you know, opens your doors.
Okay.
That's the third one, but that's strictly isolated to the courthouse as well.
That's just for the courthouse.
Yeah. Card readers. And again, to simplify, if you wanted to use that major that we've set aside for any construction things to occur, I mean, there's funding in there if you just wanted to use that if we weren't set up this year for it. I didn't know how the courthouse was laid out. That's not my budget.
Okay.
So we'll let them take.
There you go. That'll work. So I'm just asking for the 2945 for the 1-year jail milestone video licensing. Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Sorry, is that why you was looking at me?
Oh, I was just looking that direction. I wonder if I should.
We're gonna walk the slide down a little.
Yeah.
We're running out of.
There we go.
4 and 5. Yep, there we go.
Okay, 4 and 5's WPH, which is explained
Yeah.
twice now.
My apologies. Now I understand what you're doing here.
Yeah.
WPF, there you go. Our current mapping and our licensing for the.
What's that?
It was helicopter.
That's $4,025 and $2,100. Different, so that's 4 and 5.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye. You're in, 6 is in digital. That's the backup crash phone, as you can see there, 911 system. If our 911 center goes down, we have a crash phone that we can relocate to another facility, which we did when we lost power here last month. We took it over to the city, hooked it up there. All 911 calls are transferred to that crash cart kit. This is our annual renewal for that. That keeps us in compliant with its own phone. Second. Got on that one, then, yeah. Love it.
Any further discussion? Wait for the look. Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
7, we had a air handler, a compressor go down. That's a repair out of the jail repair fund. Needing to replace that air handler compressor.
Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
McAllister Cat, this is the generator issue. We've got 2 brain switch panels, transfer stations, whatever we call them. We have purchased, we thought we were gonna have to upgrade to the 2025 model. They are new units, but we did find a company that makes those older 30-year-old systems. So we have those. They've already sent them to us ready for installation. This is the cost of these coming out of that fund that we created for any major construction issues in the jail. We are on set to July 17th to install those panels. Yep, swap them out. We've got to bring in a temporary generator, have that hooked up, kill everything, go to generator power. We'll sit outside the jail on the north side, switch those out, turn everything back in. IT is aware. We've been working with her. It's been great to work with there and getting all that managed and handled. So we will hopefully be done with that before the end of the month. Second.
Any questions? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye. So in the midst of all of this, the last one we have there is TLA signs. We have a sign in front of, on the west side of the jail, on the entrance as you were to walk up the corridor to the lobby of the jail, there is a large sign. It's original and most of the letters are busted out or pushed through. It's been in terrible shape for quite some time. We've been getting a lot of requests since we built a new courthouse with people coming in or calling, where's the courthouse at? So here's our opportunity. That's a metal cutout. It's just a panel. We can take it off and TLA can just slide essentially a vinyl sticker over the front of it. But it gave an opportunity. Did you get a copy of what it would look like? Okay. We thought maybe that'd be a great time to advertise now for the new courthouse, community center, prosecutor's office, kind of pointing arrows in that direction. Right now, the only thing on the sign is jail related.
jail lobby, jail, sheriff administration. There's nothing in regards to any other offices. Understanding that that's the point of the sign when the building was built, but this might afford us a little opportunity to do some advertising for the community center and courthouse. So that's kind of what we came up with.
You're adding probation.
Yeah, probation, yeah, we have to clean that up. Probations and the annex, we're gonna add those things in there. We're thinking about taking the dispatch off and the EMA, cleaning that up. There's really no point in that if they can come into the sheriff's office and just get that information where dispatch is, and that's just as helpful. So we're gonna move some things around, but very important to keep the judicial center, courts, community center, probation, and the annex.
What about the potential public defender's office? Would that be?
Ooh, I can add that. Like I said, we're not done. I just wanted to get a cost of that.
Good thought.
Yeah. So you want to put public defender's office, where is that gonna be? Oh, that's gonna be in the annex.
For the prosecutor's office?
Yes. I can definitely add that.
I would imagine you'd probably get traffic for that as well.
I'm sure when that starts, yeah.
I want to wait till council approves that
Yeah.
that's gonna happen.
Okay.
And you might want to make 30 or 60 days.
We'll take our time. How's that?
Slow walk now.
Yeah, we'll slow walk that one.
That's only give them approval now or.
Bears.
Yeah, I don't have. Started.
Make a motion.
Finalize everything else. Yeah.
That he give him approval to slow walk it.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll give us two, maybe he'll do, and then when we do get the public defenders, if that is something that comes about, then we can switch them. We'll talk to him about it. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
We'll talk to him about it. Thank you, though.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing not all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
That's all I have. Thank you, commissioners. I was asked for numbers here a week or two ago in regards to the final completion of our duty list, things that we had that were in need of service there at the facility. I've got the last one just came in, so I'll have that. When I get back, I should have the last air handling price, so I can send over that approximate stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
And where we land on the generator transfer, I'm not sure where that fund will be. We're gonna do some guesstimating here this week when we get some hard estimates. We're looking like we're at the better than we thought to begin with, but you know how that always goes. No, doesn't go.
Yeah, one more thing to discuss with the sheriff. Sure.
Oh,
Concerning, how I had a citizen or a company complain about not being fair as far as how they dispatch wrecker services. They feel
there's a new wrecker statute out that just took effect that we're currently working with legal on.
Okay.
So there's options out there. It's not clean cut like it used to be.
So they didn't feel like they were getting in the rotation the same, or however that works.
So right now, when new legislature passed, which has always been the same, Steuben County historically has always operated on a rotation. So if you have a record service in the county, you went on a list. We didn't really, most counties that I'm aware of operate with just one sole service. Everybody's there, you can call, but there's nothing that says that everybody's allowed to be on this. You can use your own service. We have always historically not done that. We've just added a wrecker service. And those that have heavy wreckers, they go on another rotation because not every wrecker service has heavy rotation. Well, they just passed statute legislature this year that states law enforcement agencies either have to stipulate and find a rotation or they have to contract. So I'm not sure who that is, and that's okay. We may decide to just contract with one person.
Okay.
And other agencies can do the same. And in fact, based on highway department's needs or EMS's needs, the commissioners may want to consider as well doing something like that, or just leaving it up to what we normally do as a normal process, either a rotation or whatever that may be. But right now it's in the final work, so I've not decided one way or the other. I haven't even gotten a hold of the other towns because I wanted to make sure there's policies and procedures in there as well as what's required of the particular tow services.
Give you in touch with you and give you the person's name and contact information
Sure.
if you'd like to contact them.
Yeah.
They figured it was a commissioner decision and not really.
That has always been, with every passing year, always been something that comes up.
I will give you their contact information.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, we'll work through that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is everything okay or?
You need just a second.
Okay, we'll take 4 minutes, start up at 10:30.
Sure.
Very good. Turn it back on. Okay. Ordinance Z 25-01. Second and or third readings today.
Here we are. Taking any comments?
Questions, comments, motion,
Make the motion to approve.
just for the second reading.
Well, that's second and third readings.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 4 are our minutes.
All right, it's a lot of minutes.
More like hours.
Yeah.
So if you want to take that first one, that December one, because I'm going to abstain with that, if it's not part of that.
Separate.
Yeah.
Make the motion to approve the December minutes.
Okay, so motion from Andy, I will second it to approve the December 23rd meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. 2-0 and 1. Put down memory lane there, fellas.
Cecil sign that down, the abstain? The minutes or not?
I'll, fill in,
Go within that thing.
I'll fill in on that, yeah. Have Abby do it.
All right. Motion for the rest of the minutes. Make a motion to approve the remaining minutes.
Oh, second. A lot of minutes there.
Like I said, it's more like hours.
Yeah.
So that's everything through May 5th. Further. Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
So Abby and I came up with a little different process. For Abby and I, she liked it. We're going to do things a little bit different for the minutes. So hopefully at your next meeting,
Mhm.
you can have the rest of them. And they will have all been reviewed and updated ahead of time.
You make a stack of them.
I can do that.
Should almost say it on your screens. Pretty much caught up. Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, those might get back in order, that's for sure.
There's a date at the top, I'll do it.
Three page numbers too. Getting close right here.
The auditor's office has asked that if we were interested in seeking additional insurance quotes for our employees' benefits, that we rescind a previous vote on not accepting them.
And I have to
Have a motion to accept them.
apologize because I didn't realize it was that
In place.
in place, and I talked to a few about different quotes, so just to no more than just check to see where we're at.
John? But in the past, that gave them direction when somebody would call in saying, no, we're not receiving them. Or, yes, we are receiving them. My only thing then is if we are going to receive them, that we put some type of standard out there of what information we provide to anyone who requests that. So that everyone receives the same information. Providing anything additional to one company over another.
Yeah, they're not asking for continuous additional information.
Is that possible, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to know what kind of programs and stuff they offer, we could let them know, what we have right now and what they could offer us in return. My concerns are when you're looking at the health insurance and everything, I mean, I don't know if you guys are looking at this for next year or for 2027. Because if somebody's going to quote our stop loss and lasers and medical, all of that stuff, they're gonna want claims. I'm not releasing that because that's PHI. They're gonna have to go through PHP to get all of that. Same with Northwind. Like I don't want to get a HIPAA violation on that. So if you're looking at the sort of programs that they offer in conjunction with what we offer currently, that would be fine, but going further into it, I mean, that would take some time for their underwriters, obviously, to put together numbers and things of that nature, if you're looking for it for 2026. Because I know right now that USI is currently working on all of that.
I don't think this is done in 2026 issue, it'll be 2027, right at the earliest. I guess, is it best to maybe just hear proposals in front of the commissioners for these groups that want to give it, that we're not putting the burden on the already other employees, and then we can decide, all right, pick a group of them that says, all right, we can give you X amount of information to see if you can get us.
Just again, that we need to probably clarify what information we will provide.
Right. Kelly, what are you checking on that to see if there's anything else and from any other auditors if they've done this before? See if there's a template out there or some sort of.
I will be meeting with them in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I can ask. I haven't asked yet.
Okay.
And I can ask as well, I have an HR group. I have talked to a couple counties that have switched, from what they had, and then it ended up not working out, and then they switched back, because it was a different structure type of thing. So it just depends.
It's hard because right now it's not broken.
It is not, and we've implemented a lot of good programs the last couple of years, and there's a potential for additional programs with the current companies that we have in place. We're still working on the cost analysis to see where we're at, where our claims are running, in comparison with past years. So I track that, and I know USI does as well. So.
I guess I'm just looking for a way that we can allow these people to give us a quote without overburdening our HR and everybody. I don't know what that looks like.
I don't either. That's why I'm saying if we develop something standard and just say, here's the information we
Yeah.
provide, show us what you can do for us.
Yeah.
Because they won't be able to give you an apples to apples quote or anything with stop loss and lasers and what they're looking at without PHI and those claims.
And I don't think they're gonna want to quote without being able to look at that stuff either. It would just be a general.
There's a whole lot more wrapped into it than just the additional item or additional offers that we have
It's that
besides health.
it's that self-funded aspect of it. We're not fully insured. So there's a lot of different pieces that are integrated in it, all of it. I do have information on the broker fees if you guys are interested in learning more about that and how that is worked into what we currently do.
I think that's the number that is what is the difference maker. I mean, I really do. I think, you're probably gonna come with, or we're gonna want a similar model if you go with a different broker.
Yeah, and
It's-
right now, like, I don't think that the county has necessarily been charged as much as what they potentially could have been, because it's based on the stop loss premiums. There are different types of programs for broker fees, and that can be looked at if you want. I do have a ballpark figure of what the broker fees have cost, so I could send that to you, so you can review that information. But again, every different broker has, different programs available that they would base those broker fees off of. It's a complicated process.
I think it's very complicated. I also think, we've done some great things in the last couple of years to really reduce or control those numbers. And I think I hate to see anything we've done.
Yeah. Oh, I just know, coming from council, it's always,
Yeah.
If you done this, if you done that, and,
Well, I don't think those things were being done, but I think the last couple of years they have. Control it. Now, the other argument is too, is when's the last time we've ever actually, done a shop like
It's
this?
been over 10 years.
Right, so how often should that be done?
Yeah, so USI, yes, we've been with USI since I've been here, and I was hired in
Okay, so-
2014. So, when it comes to the different programs and the cost for the stop loss and the lasers, that is always taken to market every year by USI. So it's one of those things. USI is a huge help to me as well when it comes to individualized things that come up every single day that I am not able to handle on my own. They have access to the higher ups, and they are fast on getting those things taken care of. So, if you guys ever have any questions, same with county council, because there are a lot of different moving parts in this that I don't think it's fully understood. Please come talk to me so I can try to explain it, because there's a lot to it.
I get a proposal for a truck.
So it's your option whether we want to remove that policy that's in place or not.
Right.
I mean, we could end up with a half a dozen brokers or insurance companies that are saying, well, we'd really like an opportunity to.
That's what we're gonna get. And that's,
I've already been contacted by,
And the questions then become what information you're gonna provide to each one of them, and you're gonna have each one of them asking maybe for something different. And it's gonna take a lot of time out of their day, a lot of time out of their days.
I don't think, my opinion is we don't rescind that until they have the information of what kind of package we could possibly. A generic generic information package. And maybe until this, we also have the numbers that will be coming in in the next couple of months, so. If we are going in the right direction, do you want to continue to, look at other options, or we're knowing that we're working on going in the right direction and doing things in the correct order to get our insurance, get a grasp on it. First, I think we have.
Yeah, we can hold on for now. So at what point?
Right.
So we get to,
Let's just keep it on our agenda as outstanding items.
point where we know what we can offer or put out to get it going on.
Okay, Public Defender's Office discussion. I think that's more in council's
yeah,
wheelhouse at this point, because I think we're all in agreement. We've qualified for the program. We're ready to make that commitment as long as council will fund it. Is that a fair statement?
I believe that's to that point. Council seemed like they've been on board. We've got everything sitting there ready to go.
yeah, basically, I was just waiting on what their guidance was tomorrow. And then after that meeting, schedule a public defender board meeting, and then pretty much hit the ground running depending on what the decision is.
I guess our biggest, to me, our biggest worry is, we're gonna finish out that, offices and what we need for computers, if we're gonna have to supply those, or whether those are gonna be able to be paid for through the grant
We'll get a reimbursement.
reimbursement.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's stuff that we're gonna have to talk with
Pay for
Nikki.
it, and I'll pay for ahead of time.
I am on their agenda for tomorrow.
Yep, so it's Aaron, and I'll be standing somewhere behind her.
So we will be here to have that discussion with them, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Car wash policy.
So right now, we have one office that is really asking for it. The surveyor's office to wash the trucks, I don't know how many he has. She did a survey of the different departments. Most of them is, they take care of them themselves, some of them, they don't get washed. Only about once or twice a year.
That's not so good either.
No.
But they weren't giving us any like deals or anything. Jack's Car Wash wasn't. I don't know if you guys want to just have a budget for it, because at Jack's, that's easy. You know, they can sign up. We can work with them to be invoiced, ask them if we can be invoiced, and push that really hard for them, hopefully. And just have a budget for it. And then it reads their license plates and
Yeah,
know
but
what
the
they're.
monthly,
Yeah. Or I thought about a gift card, but I don't think that's gonna be a good idea.
That has to be handled the same as a credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah, but each don't have.
Able to use.
No,
They could technically come in on ours.
Surprised that vendor wouldn't have a fleet program somewhere.
we've gotten to no answer so far.
Let's see, I guess, we can discuss that rest line, Jack's Car Wash. Because they're the only automatic one in town.
Well, you have the brushless ones that you can drive through that. But
VIN or the license plate, so each one would be,
Yeah.
I don't know of one locally that is just show a pass. It would be VIN, plate specific. So they would want individual.
right.
I mean, the sheriff's department, they have a bay.
Correct.
Same with the ambulances and that kind of stuff. Health department, they did end up getting a gift card, I think, a while back. That is working for them. I'm assuming Alicia controls that card.
Yeah, I think building and planning, we had a gift card as well.
You guys did?
Yeah.
But you didn't get a lot of them come back and say, Rodney may use the bay, I'm not sure. Can't remember, for his corner vehicle.
Right.
I don't know what the right answer is for it. Or just have them come and get the credit card and go wash it.
There's that option as well.
Or we can push a little bit harder on Jack's.
There's like another conversation.
Yeah, that's been my.
You do it monthly, you save a lot of
Well, yeah,
money because you can go twice a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
it's a good deal, there's no doubt about it. For the opposed to paying individually.
Yeah, yearly.
Yeah.
If you.
Right.
Go every day, up to
Right.
twice a day.
And some of our vehicles, yes, I mean, like the building and planning, when you do go down dirt road, it'd be nice to be able to work through it, so. I guess the question is, yeah, if you have a vehicle that doesn't really get moved and only needs it once a month, maybe that's better just to take a credit card and go wash it. But some of these vehicles that are daily runners, I think should,
You run them through a lot more.
yes,
Probably at the end of it every day. So
yes, yeah. Would be my thoughts on it. It's like $20 a month, that's pretty good to be able.
I'll put charter on Jack's.
I was gonna say that might be the solution. You have a request to eliminate the rental fee on the building?
And what's this for?
It's a class reunion. They did one last year.
Oh, it's the class reunion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Walkthrough. Okay.
It didn't say what it's for, it just.
Didn't say who it was for.
Yeah.
I saw the walkthrough part. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we did that before.
Which class is it? 1975, she said.
What was the last year for this?
For the high school? Somewhere in there.
91.
That's it.
Anyone?
See, I didn't even.
Yeah, did you go there?
I graduated here. 91 was the first from the new building.
What did we do with the last one? We waived fees. Now you have to pay any of the janitorial.
They just paid bids for everything.
Yeah,
So they're just open to the hallways and stuff?
yeah.
No, the offices. Auditorium.
maintenance will be here with them.
Yeah, I think last year he just walked around with them and.
Yeah,
just
so
had
he
the-
might have opened up the
Yeah.
auditorium and that kind of stuff, but none of the offices were supposed to be opened.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Motion that we've reviewed the monthly financial and comparison report.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Oh, I got this next one put on there. So, right after the fair, we got a phone call from solid waste that we're can no longer put any manure in, out back where they compost solid waste.
So I say that's a bunch of horse.
Yes. And putting that is not allowed. So that was per what I understand IDEM. And I don't know if that's because we don't have the proper credentials to do that as solid waste, or I don't know the reasoning behind it. And I guess mainly I wanted to see if you, at your next solid waste board meeting, see if you could understand why
That's the question.
it's being
The
excluded.
next one is not until August.
So any shows that they have now from now on, horse shows, goat shows, it don't matter what animal, they cannot take any of that manure to compost. Looked like the question was asked, why now? Well, sounds like it's always been kind of a rule, but has it been strictly followed? And apparently IDEM's cracking down or something. And they're gonna have to explain the reasoning of that, because we're composting leaves and wood and everything else to make dirt. What better thing to put in it as a little manure? Okay. No, if you get it warm enough, when you're during the compost procedure, it should kill any of that.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Otherwise, it don't compost very well. I mean, without a little bit of help in there. So to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but what do I know, I guess? I don't know manure, apparently.
You don't know.
Yes. Manure. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
I'll try and
It was,
remember to ask that.
So it's gonna be an issue going forward for any use at those facilities that is.
So are we gonna have to make Scott aware of anything right now, and barring anything else, whoever would use the facility, rent the facility for a program?
Any horse
Going to
shows,
have to
any,
They're gonna have to
anything,
dispose of their waste.
it has to be hauled off-site,
So Scott will probably be made aware of that. Scott, you know.
which I think he was in on that email string, but
Probably be best if maybe you
probably make that an official.
Did you send that to Abby too?
I asked her to put this on, I didn't send the email string.
So I probably ought to send something to Scott, letting him know that that's no longer an option, and that anyone that we lease those facilities to, that we're gonna have to be responsible for removal of their own waste.
Till further notice.
And I don't know if that'll have to be a change in the contract. Yes, that's in many of those contracts.
As long as
It's in this contract.
I'm sure none of them state that that has to be removed, so I would imagine going forward that has to be stated in the contract. Hopefully it can get resolved, but. I'm not betting on it.
Next item, we're 11, Kelly, this is the one you need, correct?
Yes, it is. We made, we made a couple of changes. Put Steuben in there. I had asked a couple of questions that Aaron had on it. The attorney went over everything with me and he was good with the way everything was worded. It's basically just a general contract. And this is a contract to hire somebody for Brightmark. So yes, we need this.
Motion approved. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Since we are on this topic, I have not heard back from Isaac Lee yet, but I do still have something tentatively scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, 15th, with this Jeff Langman. Still not familiar with that name. Sorry. But this attorney from Nexus, he was okay with that meeting. If you guys are as well, this guy wanted to come and sit down on behalf of Brightmark. Isaac Lee was checking into
This
just trying to figure something out with why this guy called
is
an independent contractor.
independent contractor, is also attorney, correct?
Yes, he does have his he does have his license.
So he is, I would say, any meeting involving him would require our counsel to be present.
Yeah.
No exception. In my opinion.
What's his fault?
And it wouldn't
His
involve
name?
you, Don, because this would be our side of the Brightmark issue.
His name was Jeff Langben, Langbehn.
Okay.
I just got a random call from him. But like I said, it's tentative right now. Make sure you guys are good for that day on the 15th. I think I said either 9 or 10, I can't remember.
July 15th.
Yeah, you will not be here.
Visitation.
Send us out a reminder, please.
Yeah, I will get back to hold of Isaac. I was working it in between also. I have auditors conference. Kim Anderson was going to be gone a couple of days because I wanted to make sure she was going to be here also.
Is it July 15th?
Yeah.
It's Tuesday.
Mhm.
Is that 16th? It's here.
Yep.
Karen,
Hospital, yep.
That one here.
Good hospital.
you can make that one.
Watching everything.
And I was going to check and see if I get the information back from Isaac. If this gentleman, we could do him by Zoom, so he wouldn't have to drive clear up here.
Yeah. Just want him in attendance on.
Yep.
If he's going to be representing, you want him to understand.
Yep.
Really, do we have any way of determining whether
Langbeck, Langbehn.
anything other than his statement as to whether he is actually representing?
Not at this time. That's what Isaac was gonna check with whoever the COO is of Brightmark. I think is who Isaac was gonna reach out to.
I would say without some independent confirmation of that. Sit down with that gentleman.
Okay.
This might be a solicitation.
Mhm. Number 12, RQAW documentation requested, so we have everything from a package from White Ants. Did they request anything that we were required to provide other than that, and is that available to them?
So this is everything that they had asked for. If you were good with all that going up, I'll have me send it today.
Of the documentation, so.
Yep.
Claims.
Motion to approve the claims, $1,355,970.70. In addition to that, the out-of-cycle claims, items A and B. And then C, if they tax refund.
You're also including that? Yep.
There's anything AIC conference. That is
So it's up the end of
September, 1st of October.
Yep.
I will be out of town.
I'm already registered through AIC and that was got 500.
I have those also. I'll be able to attend.
Just for. Stay with us afterwards. Because I think your room was from Sunday to,
Wednesday.
yeah, usually doesn't start till Monday. We call things on.
Sunday night, I got a meeting, AIC.
Okay.
They have their,
Okay, so yours won't need to be,
I do meet Sunday.
okay. And then the other person that was booked on Sunday, was that Jan?
Mhm.
So I'll have to double check with him then. On his, okay, so Rick does need Sunday.
My room or my conference should already be paid for through AIC.
Yep.
So the Pitney Bowes lease.
Yes. So that ends in July this month. It's up for renewal. Ian met, was this guy new with Pitney Bowes?
Newer, yeah.
Newer, he's
Newer representative.
yes. Had a great meeting with him. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there for that meeting, but her and Amy met with him. There's a lot of stuff that they can do for us to help reduce our cost on this, make it easier for the other departments as well. Did he, I can find it. Is it this right here, I think? He is willing to come up and talk to all the different departments as well. Show them what they have available. Didn't he even say that the machine we have in here is too big? Too big, we don't need what we have. We have too much in here for what we do with it. So they worked out a pretty good quote with us.
Actually, it came up cheaper than what we're paying now.
Yeah, less than what we're paying. And we have to have postage machines, so. We did have another gentleman that came to us as well, that Ann and I did meet with. but he is independent, he's not with Pitney Bowes. His quote wasn't as good, he was quoting the exact same thing that we have in here. And wasn't providing us really any much of a discount at all compared to what we have.
Recommendation is to accept the proposed contract.
Yes.
Bill quarterly or monthly?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Right.
I gotta put my signature on that little.
Just all your correspondence.
Council know about the wheel tax surtax Zoom meeting tomorrow.
I believe they got a copy of it as well. By email,
That's tomorrow evening. 7
7 p.m.
And that's due, a Zoom meeting.
if they want to attend. Yeah, it went out to both you guys.
Great.
I should say it went out to both boards.
Anything else, ladies?
No.
Okay. We'll stand in recess.
Schedule.
Thank you.